We are on, folks. We are on live. Good evening. I've got quite a lot of early messages coming up. So Michael's on. Hi, Mike. Detective Kev. We've got, I've said hi to History Unearthed, Darren Booth. How are you, sir? Good to hear from you tonight. Yes, I'm on. I had a bit of a minor mishap with Google, actually, saying there was some unusual activity on my account, which is rather strange. There's been some rather strange stuff going on with some of the unearthed accounts this week. Even Google AdWords, there's been somebody trying to tap into that. I mean, we live in a fraudulent world, remember, folks. So, Christopher Kirk, how are you, my friend? I hope you're well. Good to see you at the weekend in all that rain, but you braved it like everybody else did. Good to see Chris. Detective Kev with his fantastic logo. Probably the best logo on the planet, with Kev's face in the middle of it. And Kev's had it recently with his Google. Yeah, I think it's, do you know what? I think it's just the way the world's working at the moment. I think there's a lot of, I mean, I'll give you a brief, rather than skip subject, I'll give you a very brief bit of information. We got hacked. No, we were victim of fraud. Sorry, we were victim of fraud, not hacked. And it cost us about £2,000 or £3,000 a long time ago. Me and Melanie both went to the police about it. The police said they can do nothing. Go to the fraud squad, Action Fraud, which I spent most of that working day talking to Action Fraud on the phone, and they said, well, they quoted all these figures. £3 billion of fraud is carried out each year in the UK, and I won't go into specifics, but they can't really do a great deal about it. It's very unusual. It keeps the economy afloat, Melanie just said. So there you go. Yeah, it's a black world we live in. Hello, everyone. Hope you are well. Hello, Treasure Huntress. Great to see you. And we've got Down in the Ground. Lovely to see you too. We've got Digger Tyson Fury. I don't know if Digger Tyson Fury's been on live much in the past, but guess what? He's on tonight. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. We're up to 16 viewers. Facebook, actually, has got 6. What have we got? YouTube 10, 18, jumping up as I'm speaking to 12 and 6. I'm good, Digger Tyson Fury, very good. And Kev says, Tezza, my brother from another mother, you legend. And you know, it's just nice to see everybody, isn't it? Now, I'm going to wait till the numbers creep up a little bit. We've got Deb Johnson on, and I don't think I've seen Deb on live before, but you are more than welcome, Deb. And I understand that you've been doing quite well. Melanie told me you've been doing quite well mudlarking. For those that don't know, Deb Johnson does quite a bit of mudlarking, and she's quite successful at it. And she's quite successful with using a metal detector too. So there you go. We've got lots of wonderful people saying hello. We've got another one, Danny Lancaster. Good to see you at the weekend. Good to see you at the weekend, Dan. In all that horrendous weather in the morning, there's one thing I can't control is the weather. Ian McKenzie, I don't know, Ian. Come back on, sir. Hello, Graham. How come I was removed from Facebook group? I never trolled. I absolutely agree with you, Ian. You probably never trolled in your life, and you would be the last person I would think you'd been removed. So what I can say is get back on, because you wouldn't have been removed for any reason. What I'm trying to say, you wouldn't have been removed on purpose. Could be Facebook and just throw him off, yeah. Melanie thinks it might be Facebook, Ian, that have thrown you off. So come back on, sir. You're more than welcome. What have I done to my finger? What have I done to my finger? Yes, I have. Melanie's rolling her eyes in the background, but that's a Wicklow. Wicklow down the side of my nail, which has become infected. I could get away with it for a few days, but today it's swollen up to twice the size of my normal finger. Fix it? It's what? How did you try and fix it first? And I stupidly sprayed some agricultural antiseptic spray that I use on my sheep. I call it purple spray, I sprayed that round my nail and round my finger thinking it would work, and guess what? It didn't work. So I had to go to the chemist to get all these weird and wonderful ointments and things to draw it out. But there you go.
You don't have a hoof.
Because I don't have a hoof. Right, okay, Mel. I would sort of give up a little bit there. But you're right. Going back to that, Ian McKenzie, Ian, you know, you've been a friend for some time and you followed us on many social media outlets. Well, just come back on, mate. You're more than welcome. I don't know why you've been thrown off. You wouldn't have been thrown off on purpose, put it that way, because you would have done nothing wrong. So it's probably Facebook, maybe. Or if you've shut down your account and you've come off Facebook, one of the admin guys got rid of a load of shut down dormant accounts. Yes. So that might be that. Be careful, you can get sepsia. It's starting to track up now, Deb. It's starting to go into my elbow and into my joints. But the problem is I've got detecting. The first time I'm going detecting on my personal permissions on Saturday. So they'll have to cut my arm off to stop me going. Because I am going detecting. I ain't doing, you know, I ain't sitting around any longer because of this stupid COVID situation. I'm detecting Saturday. I can't wait. Can't wait. I've got lots of people saying hi. Can you give us a love heart, give us a thumbs up on YouTube and Facebook, folks. I can see them coming up. And I think I did Tony. Did I do Tony? Evening, Graham. Tony Brown. Hi, Tony. Hope you're well. Good, mate. Even better. It's Friday tomorrow. Facebook does it for no reason. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It does. You're right. Absolutely does. Right, folks. So, a couple of things actually. We're jumping up in numbers up to 34, so that's good news. Quite a lot on Facebook tonight, which is fantastic. Oh, good. We've got people from America on tonight. Ian, that's what it is, my friend. Ian, you found it. Cheers. Yes, I did deactivate and upload again. That's what it is. So I promise we wouldn't have. We only, do you know what, Ian? We only ever remove people from the groups that cause issues. We don't do it on. I mean, we got rid, believe it or not, we got rid of about 2,000 people that were either dormant accounts, not friends of unearthed, trolls, all that kind of stuff. And we shed about 2,000 people off it. Anyway, there you go. Deb, you're worrying me. So Ian, come back on, my friend. You're worrying. My son ended up with 48-hour intravenous antibiotics, very ill. Oh no, don't say that, Deb.
I've told you all this today and you wouldn't have it.
I wouldn't have
Deb's
it.
telling you believe in Deb.
I just think it's 8 minutes past 7. It might be Mel's bedtime because I'm getting it in both. I'm getting it off Deb on the computer in one ear and I'm getting it off Mel in the other. And there's not a lot in between my ears, remember. Rob Hunter Collinson's on. He's just got in from work. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. And we've also got the legendary one and only Andrew Allen. I can't keep up with some of your posts, but you are reading each other's posts, which is good. Poor Mel. Michael saying poor Mel. Yeah, you're right. I think I'll be all right, Deb. I think I'll be all right. I mean, it's sore. It is sore. Believe me, it's sore because Wicklow's are sore. The horrible things. But I think we'll be all right. I think this stuff will draw it out what I've got on underneath this bandage. And if I have to grab my detector like that without using that finger, you believe it or not, if a finger becomes infected, I mean, I used to be a motor mechanic, so I used to get many cuts and bruises around my fingers for obvious reasons. But you'd be surprised how much you need that finger when it's out of operation. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Where we at? Should I take my Ambo and have a look? Should I take my Ambo and have a look from the treasure huntress? Are you? Does that mean you're an ambulance driver? Possibly. Maybe. Paul Blundell. Evening, everybody. Evening, Paul. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you are well. And we've got people saying hi to everybody else. I'll just put a couple of posts up. Even if hi, Nicole. Hope you're well. Christopher Kirk's also giving me in the neck about my finger, which is fine. I understand. You need to get that checked out, mate. Injured my knee boxing, shrugged it off, ended up in hospital with near sepsis. Don't ignore it. No, I won't, mate. I've got this bandage on it. I've got stuff underneath. Can't remember what the stuff's called, but it's going to draw it out, hopefully. Right, yes. Excellent work. Let me see if I can get it up. It's a little bit slow tonight on the old uptake of the messages. There we go. Paramedic. Excellent work. Sterling work. Treasure Huntress. Sterling work. Right, folks. We've got quite a lot watching. There's a few topics that I would like. Oh, hang on. We've got quite a few more people coming on. Actually, we're jumping up to 37. I think the most we've ever had on a live stream is about 56. So we're getting up there pretty quick. Hi, Alan. I hope you're well. And we've also got Stuart Peacock from Cumbria on, and also Gary Hayes as well. He's come on, and we've got to say it. Robert Hunter Collinson says, "Get it checked." I will. I do appreciate your wonderful. If the lovely lassies get their way, you're not detecting on Saturday, which is a rhyme, and that's come from a Facebook user, Mel, and I haven't got a clue who it is. Stan's lad, who? William Morris, good and William. Stan's lad, evening everyone. Hi, Stan. Most of them are bothered about your finger. Yes, did you know what? I just need to get out detecting. I'll chop my finger off if I have to. I'll chop my finger off, be pain free, and still detect. There you go. That's my plan. But this is a flesh wound. Mick Davis. I don't know where Mick Davis is on there. I can't see. Pellet Scrunch. I've got to mention the word Pellet Scrunch. I have actually got a new nickname, folks, for people, and Melanie will absolutely roll at me for saying it. But there's a long-standing joke with Scrunch. I can't go into details, but it's to do with fishing. Rob Hunter Collinson set it off, or his brother set it off, and we sort of carried it on. So instead of calling an idiot a dickhead, I call them dick scrunches. You're a dick scrunch. And do you know what? I called somebody a dick scrunch the other day when he pulled out on me on the roundabout, and he nearly wrote me off in my pickup. So Dick Scrunch is the new name on the block, folks. And as I said that, 2 or 3 people logged off. Bang, 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 bang. Right, okay. I'm never going to live this down. Didn't recognise you there, Graham, without chicken poo on your head. Hang on. Stuart Peacock. The reason why Stuart says that, folks, is because on Sunday's organised dig, the rain was that heavy, especially with me not detecting on the day and watching how people got on the day. I sheltered under a trailer, a rather large agricultural trailer, which was cram-packed with chicken muck, and it started, dripping over the edges of the trailer onto my head, and I had a big brown streak down the side of my face. We did wonder what it was, and it turned out to be chicken poo, as Stuart says, and it was a great amusement to everybody that I had this stuff running down my face. Dave Taylor's on. No sign of the large Coiltech coils, Dave. There's been a problem with components for the making the coils, so there's been a delay. We've only ever had 2 orders of the Coiltech coil, so I'm not under any illusion that there's people waiting out there, but I'm getting so much stick now. I'm getting dick scrunch, which is the new word on the block. I'm getting chicken scrunch from Kev. Rob Collinson is calling Dale a duck scrunch. Paul Blundell loves a new word. It's just, do you know what? Instead of calling somebody a dickhead, call them a dick scrunch. It's just the new word that I'm going to start using. I don't care if I'm 50 or 51. Melanie says. Melanie's hiding. Detective Kev's picking up the word already. Melanie's putting a face, hiding herself on it. Cackadoodle do from Daniel. Thanks, Daniel. You know, anybody that I thought was on my side and wouldn't give me stick would have been Danny Lancaster. But, you know, he has to wind me up with it. I'll get him back. Don't you worry. Right, let's change the subject from Dick Scrunch and all these silly words that we're using. Everyone is waiting for the new Nocta machine. Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be, Mike. I think it'll probably be sometime this year. I think they're probably just, I guess, my guess is that they're probably still testing the machine for its abilities and its performance levels. So I'm hoping that it'll be out before autumn time. That's my thoughts on it. It'll be interesting to see as well. You know, I'm a great lover of multi-frequency detectors, even though I did use single frequency detectors for a heck of a long time with a great deal of success. The good thing about a multi-frequency machine is you can use them pretty much anywhere. All-terrain machines, which begs the question why some of these manufacturers with single frequency operation on their machines call them all-terrain, because they're anything but. But there you go, the wonderful world of marketing. Down in the ground has just called her husband a dick scrunch. Oh no, sorry, just called my husband a scrunch, but not a dick. Well, you never know. He might misbehave that much. You might end up calling him a dick scrunch. Stuart Peacock's laughing at my chicken muck head on the chicken muck leaking onto my head on Sunday. Good evening from Ken Sampson, Dundee. Lovely man is Kev. He is Ken. Sorry, he's a legend. Is Ken. And Deb Johnson comes back with a cracker. You can't even get cornflakes, never mind a new coil. If I can press on it, there you go. Can't even get cornflakes, never mind a new coil. No, it's a worry. It's a worry. I think somebody in here. Oh, where we are. The Sizzle Evans on, who did a wonderful film. Anybody that's missed it, log on to the Detecting World Review Sizzle Evan YouTube channel, and you'll see the video that he did of his young son detecting with him on the Unearthed Dig at the weekend, which was an epic film actually that him and Dale and Parker did, and he's a lovely kid for 6-year-old. What a man. We've got a legend on tonight, folks. I call people legends, and it's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek when I say it, but Bill is a true legend in my eyes. And he's hello, Graham. We'll ring Mel for the postcode. Looking forward to seeing you both again. I'll always look forward. It's always a pleasure, Bill. Always a pleasure. And we've got Colin McAlpine on. Another. Do you know what? You're all legends, and Colin McAlpine is actually a legend himself as well. Hi, Colin. Hi, Mel Graham. Just coming through very slowly, Colin, actually, but we're getting there. Right, folks. Right, Melanie's saying hi back. Just a little bit slow coming on the old comments. Anyway, folks, the reason why we've set up this detecting live stream tonight is purely because I can't do it the weekend because I'm away detecting. But there's a few things I want to discuss. One of them is the NCMD situation. We've got 45 people watching, so that's probably enough to get into a bit of a juicy topic. But there's a lot of messages. I'm getting a lot of private messages asking about the situation with the NCMD. Now, I'm a great supporter of the NCMD, as people know, and I do get a little bit of flack for that sometimes, of course, from different areas. And you know, you can't live your life flack free because there is a lot of idiots in this hobby that will point fingers and throw mud, and I throw it back, and then they throw it back, and everything else, and you get into all sorts of spats. But the situation with the NCMD isn't a good one in my eyes. National NCMD is having a fallout with the regions. Certain regions within the NCMD are falling out with each other, and it just seems to be a little bit of a mess. And there's a lot of Facebook, social media stuff going on, probably both privately and publicly. And I just think the situation should be, I think, at the very time that we need unity in the hobby for obvious reasons, that the NCMD decide to sort of fall out within themselves. And I just think sometimes when organizations get a little bit too big and certain individuals within organizations become a little bit long in the tooth, that the dead wood is a lot harder to get rid of. So make of that what you will. I'm hoping beyond all hope that the spat between national and regional, or regional and national, will be sorted out soon for the good of the hobby, and also for the membership and the detectorists that need the NCMD the most. I mean, you've got to remember this: the NCMD is the voice, the link that we've got to the authorities and things. And without them, we'd be pretty much up the creek.
Without
So
members, there's nobody.
And exactly, Melanie's just said, without members, there'll be nobody, and it's a two-way street. We see this in a lot of walks of life. What we need to do is, I mean, this is only my opinion, by the way, and throw it back at me if you think I'm wrong. But I'm a great believer that the NCMD does need, and really does need, some fresh blood, young, energetic, passionate individuals within the NCMD fighting for the hobby to stay as it is, and understand how social media works, and also understand how the modern world works, rather than somebody that's been retired for a number of years and may dip his toe in and out of certain things from time to time. And I don't think that's the type of people that the NCMD want. You know what? Just my opinion, folks, but we do need, we do need them on our side. Anyway, if it doesn't get sorted and it implodes, well, somebody's going to be to blame, and we won't hold back in finger pointing at the person who is to blame, I guess. Anyway, let's move on from that situation. Am I detecting this weekend? I am absolutely detecting this weekend, and I can't wait. I've got the detector charged and ready. You've got to remember, my private permissions, because of COVID, haven't really been touched properly, I think, since 2019, which is a hell of a long time. I think we went down and travelled into Lincolnshire in May this year to do a farmer's field that they wanted us to detect on before it gets developed. And that's been pretty much it, apart from the unearthed organised digs, which I can't detect on myself because I've got to keep an eye on, the people and making sure that they're doing the right thing, etc., etc. So I am absolutely dying to get out detecting on some of these stubble fields. We've got stubble, we've got a little bit of pea fields available, and I'm just, I haven't found a hammered coin in quite a long time. I used to find 50, 60 a year. I'm down to very little, so I need to get my hammered coin tally back up, because my goal is 1,000 hammered coins, and I'm on about 800 and something. So I've got a bit of way to go. We've got David Dickinson on. Hi, David. Your friend Anne. Yeah, I've spoken to Anne. We'll be contacting you. Vanquish and Technetics busy week. Fed on Monday, digging Tuesday. Arranged new venue Wednesday. Arranged 2 digs for the next 2 Sundays. Well done. Well done, sir. And down in the ground, because it's all volunteers. Well, yeah, do you know what? As well, while we're on, I'm glad that some of you have been listening to me rants I've been saying about the NCMD. And I've got, I know for a fact I was considering volunteering for the NCMD, says Treasure Huntress. The situation, I think, with the NCMD has got some really good people within the ranks of the NCMD. Michael says his goal is 1 hammered coin. Well, you'll get there. You'll get there, my friend. You'll get there. You certainly will. You stick at it. You'll get what you'll get your wish. Going back to the NCMD, let me just get that off the screen a minute. Just bear with a second. Is it coming off? Is it coming off? It's coming off, I think. Yes, it is. The situation with the NCMD is this: there's some really good people within its ranks, and I think there's quite a lot of people that need to be moved on. And I don't think that situation is doing anybody any good whatsoever. There'll be also people in the background hovering and waiting and watching with glee for things to sort of roll out, because you've always got sort of private enterprises wanting to come in and do a similar thing to make a few quid out of it, because there's a lot. Just remember this about metal detecting: it's to a lot of people it's a harmless hobby, but there's a lot of politics that go along within the corridors, if that's the right word, of detecting, in the world of detecting even. And there's a lot of people that sniff around to make a few quid off the back of detecting, believe me. And a lot of them are non-detectorists, which I think is an absolute disgrace. So be under no illusion, there'll be somebody somewhere hovering around in the background just waiting to make a few quid, if anything, or if the shit hits the fan. But also, you just think about the NCMD for 1 second. And, it's an £8 membership fee. for public liability insurance. And obviously they give advice and guidance, which is really good, and people need that. But it's been £8 for as long as I can remember. You know, there's an argument out there to say if the NCMD raise their prices ever so slightly, and we're able to create full-time roles within the NCMD for people to work on the hobby full-time and fight our corner when we need that. We need somebody to fight our corner full-time. And also there's a possibility or a chance that we could look at other organizations out there and how they do their membership and follow a similar route. So for example, the shooting guys, I'm not saying I'm a supporter of shooting and anything else, by the way, but I'm saying the shooting side of the world, they have a membership. I think it's about £30 a year, and they get full legal protection that comes with that, and everything else links to this, that, and the other legal teams or whatever it might be. And there's a chance that the NCMD could look at some of the models that are out there. I mean, the angling trust, for example, I don't know how much that is a year. I think it's considerably more actually. But when COVID struck, the fishermen were right onto the angling trust, and the angling trust got their sort of lockdown side of it lifted, and they could get back out fishing. It's that sort of thing that needs to be revamped, I think, rather than being stuck back in the 1980s and the 1990s. Let's move forward and see the NCMD flourish and maybe look at doing bigger and better things for the membership. And that's just my opinion. I know there's people within the NCMD trying their best to do it, but I also know for a fact, firsthand, there's a lot of dead wood knocking around. So someone's asking me, Stuart says, Barford has submitted his 2 pennies worth. His favourite character is Nero when he turns his thumb earthward. Yeah, no, Barford is a legend in his own lunchtime, isn't he, Bill? We've got a Facebook user, no name, I can't see the name. What coil am I going to be using for stubble? Kurt Upton. Kurt, I'm going to be using a coil on Saturday, and it's going to stay on the detector full time pretty much, and it's going to be something called the Coil Tech 10x5 coil, which is perfectly balanced for the Equinox. It's sharp, it's responsive, it's fantastic pinpointing, great recovery on it. It doesn't drag iron in and multiple signals like the big fat standard coil does, and it's perfect to work with them iron sites, Roman sites, medieval sites, or whatever I might be lucky to stumble on the weekend. So that's going to be stuck on my end of my shaft until something new or more exciting comes out. Colin McAlpine, there's a hammered coin in almost every field. Patience and a machine you understand will get you that hammered coin. Absolutely. I mean, I found hammered coins where you would never dream a hammered coin would be hiding. Danny Lancaster comes in with a beaut. When you consider a fishing rod license is nearly £30, the NCMD fee is nothing. I mean, £8 a year is very little. You're right, but I think there's an argument to say, rise the price slightly and offer more. That's my message. I may get flack for that. I'm a big boy. I don't care. David, absolutely, David. You're right. It's a BASC. Now you won't be able to get me one of them sparkling, horrible, salt-tasting waters. Really. The BASC for shooting, £30 a year, David. Or is it more? Is it 90? You'll know better than me, sir. But look at what the BASC offer with their yearly membership. It's full legal rights. It's like access to lawyers or barristers or whatever it might be. But I tell you what, they don't mess about. So I'm getting quite a lot of messages, and I don't know. We're up to 50 people. Melanie's saying, "Don't let it happen again." I don't know what that's about.
Louis Ratcliffe is late.
Malcolm Foster's late as well, but he's here. That's the main thing. What detector do I use? I have a multitude of different detectors down in the ground. Sorry, I don't know your name, so I'm just going to call you down in the ground for now. I know you're a lady. I use an Equinox 800. I also have a secondary machine called the G2 Plus, which I absolutely adore because it's fantastic in the iron. and it's brilliant for hammered coins and Roman stuff. So I use the 800 combined with the G2 Plus, and I've also got a Simplex as well knocking around, and I've got a Vanquish knocking around as well. So I've got quite a lot of machines. Oh, it's Melanie's Vanquish. Melanie's got a Vanquish. Melanie's used it about once, I think.
You took it off me.
So okay, Mel, it's not the Mel show, Mel, and the Mel and the Vanquish show. Somebody's come in from Facebook, and I'm just a little bit strange. Where are we at? So somebody's coming on Facebook, Mel, Facebook user, and said, "Mad busy day broken."
It's me and Louise chatting.
Right, sorry, it's Louise.
Yeah.
Sorry, the lucky Louise. I was going to bed until I remembered he was going live. Get up,
Me and Louise talking now.
Well, don't be talking. Talk on, talk. Does anyone have an Equinox but not use MyLab headphones and get lag? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if anybody does. It might be worth asking. Well, you've asked the question. Let's see if anyone comes back with it. Sparkling water. It's got to be the weirdest tasting thing. Deb Johnson comes in with the NCMD. Yes, it does need paid post, and then it's something to answer for. Michael also comes in with a valid point. British Astronomical Association membership is 50 quid a year. 8 quid is nothing. They just need. Do you know what? They just need to get with the times. And I'm not going to be critical to the MTMD because I don't want people to take it personally within the ranks. But they've really got to get the finger out and get this problem sorted because it's looking rather embarrassing from where we're sat. And like I said, there's a lot of good people within the NCMD ranks that do a sterling job. The problem's going to always be is the deadwood that don't want to sort of change and move and whatever else. So David comes in with a valid point. Vacancy for General Secretary, 16 grand for 3 days of props work, currently unpaid. Media specialists outside the hobby will be recruited. Contact NCMD via website. There you go. Look at that. Breaking news, folks. I didn't know it. David knew it, and David's put it up. So vacancy for General Secretary, 16 grand for 3 days work, approximately, currently unpaid. Media specialists outside the hobby will be recruited. Contact NCMD. Fantastic. So that might be the start of something that we need, David. And somebody coming in with a Facebook user, Mel. I'm not sure who it is. Mel will tell me on the other end. When so many people constantly attack our hobby, it's so important to have a well-run national body protecting detectorists. And William Morris, what a legend. What a legend. There's an answer from Treasure Huntress. You could give it a try. Good luck. Hope you enjoy it. And I don't know what that was about, but it's probably about the NCMD. Down the ground, yes, I'm not sure I'll be able to deal with all the internal politics. I emailed them and I need to get back to them. I'll try and let's see. That's good. Excellent. Excellent. Well, now there's a couple of positions going to be up for grabs within the NCMD, so look out for it. Kavikas is on. What a legend he is. There's a lot of legends tonight, and I do use that word quite often, but a lot of people, Melanie thinks I use it too often, but I don't care what she thinks. Facebook user, again. There's a lot on from Facebook tonight. Give us a thumbs up, folks. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook. Give us a love out if you want. Even give us a thumbs down if you think it's a load of waffle. Got my Equinox 800 from you last month, and in the 3 times I've been out with it, I found a cut quarter and an Edward Boyking shilling. Look at that. That is what you call hitting the ground running. That's fantastic.
It's Annie Mason.
Annie Mason. Good to see you. I've not found any lag with my MyLab Bluetooth headphones, although they play up a little when near intercity high voltage line. Yeah, a lot of detectors, Gary, play up with the inner city lines, unfortunately. But of course, you've got the WMO8 module to plug in any set of headphones, which is actually faster than Bluetooth. Remember, for those that for those that didn't know. Dave Reed. Hi, Graham and Mel. Bit late. Got back from your neck of the woods at Aldingham. Got permission from landowner, but want to meet tenant. Keep everyone happy there. It's a nice place. Aldingham is Roman, Dave. It's one of the only Roman place names in this area. The Aldi bit, ADLI, Aldingham. So there has been Roman bits and pieces found around there. In fact, the beaches, unfortunately, there are strewn with aluminium. You'd almost think it was green waste, but there is bits and pieces actually on the beaches. I've even heard of a Saxon strapping coming off the beach at Aldingham, which was rather nice. But there's Roman bits and pieces and medieval bits and pieces there as well. We've got Neil Radnor on, hell of a nice fella. One hell of a nice fella. Let's see if I can just put him up. So there's me rant of the evening, folks, already, and we're only half an hour in. Let's get this in-house situation sorted. And it's just a bit crazy, isn't it? It's just a bit crazy. The whole world's crazy. But the other thing I want to speak about is something that I'm slightly concerned about, in so much as there is a lot of people out there in the detecting community that don't realize that we've got our own detecting magazine. Still don't realize, even though we've probably got the largest subscription and draw, if that's the right word, people linking in with that magazine than many others. And what we need to do is get more people active and understanding what the magazine's about. So it's called The Detectorist, and we did a VIP launch for the first year. So people got the VIP magazine to their inbox 48 hours earlier than anybody else. And the magazine's based on, of course, The Detectorist, first and foremost. It isn't a magazine that's strewn with adverts from all over the place and blocking up the magazine with, you name it, splattered all over the place. It's stories of true life detecting from the ground upwards, and it is based on The Detectorist with true life stories. It doesn't have to be dripping with silver and gold. It's everyday events that people experience out in the field, and some information, advice and guidance, and some expert knowledge on coins, detectors, and other related subjects. Now, we're going to slightly change this month's magazine because it's due out in about 2 or 3 weeks. So we are now going to go live with the magazine for everybody rather than the VIP. So everybody that was subscribed to it, and there was many thousands of people subscribed to it by email. Now we're going to launch it on the website so you can read it at your leisure, for everybody to read at the same time. And the reason why we're doing that is because we've got a bigger reach now than we ever did have, and we had 1 or 2 technical issues where people struggled to find their copy, if that's the right word. So from this month onwards, the magazine's going to go sort of viral. It's going to be open. It's going to be launched at the same time, one day, one evening, so everybody can read it at the same time. Now, leading on from that, the magazine's based on true life detecting for you guys to enjoy, but we do need stories coming through. We try our very best to fill it each week, each month or bi-monthly, with wonderful stories. But sometimes we need stories. So if you've got any detecting related stories that you would like to share with a huge audience, about a favorite find, about an experience out in the field, even about your experiences with a certain detector, good or bad, feel free to drop me an email on uneartheduk@gmail.com. You'll find the Unearthed email address on the website anyway, and that we'll with pleasure we'll put it in the magazine for you. So not only are you sharing your experiences and wonderful finds with lots and lots of like-minded people, but you're actually getting your name and find in the magazine. So here is the plan. If you've got any wonderful finds, it doesn't have to be last week or last month or even last year. You may have had that find under your belt for a number of years. And it doesn't have to be a hoard. It doesn't have to be dripping with gold and silver, like I said before. It could be your favorite find. And believe it or not, we find that a lot of people relate to the everyday finds much better than the outstanding hoards that people, don't get me wrong, a hoard story is fantastic, but we need to get back to the grassroots of detecting that. Hoards don't come up often. Everyday finds are pretty much the norm, and we need to share that with the vast majority of detectorists. So any stories you've got, fly him over. Please fly him over. Danny Lancaster has put one a statement up there saying I'll try to do a bit on my of a story about my Bronze Age ads find when and my experience with my first submission to the FLO when I get it back. Do it, please do it, because it was an excellent find on the Unearthed Dig. And Michael comes in with it's an excellent magazine too. I absolutely think it is, but I'm biased. And we've got Simon Ostell who's come in this evening. Good to see you, Simon, as always. As always. Bizro, you're on with your wonderful profile picture. Best get finding something for you. No, it's, do you know, we've really got to do it. We've really got to do, because the first one was absolutely epic. The first magazine, we just went for it, and it was just, I mean, the amount of people that enjoyed it, the very first one, and it was just cram-packed with loads of information from people's finds, advice on detectors, coins, you name it, treasure finds. It was just cram-packed with stuff. And we've tried to sort of emulate the first one each bi-monthly, but we need to continue down the route of making it a success. So I can only do that. With your help, folks. I could fill a magazine full of my stories, but people would soon get bored. Top tips. Yeah, okay, Mel. We know you would love. Yes, I'm not about you. It's not the Mel Show. I'm going to set up a YouTube channel, and it's going to be called the Mel Show, folks. How about top tips and maybe detecting hacks? Yeah, we can do that, Darren. Anything like that. It doesn't have to be War and Peace either. People can submit an article with a picture, a few sentences underneath. Happy days. And Kev talks about potential Roman ring he found. Can I tell you about my potential Roman ring, which I thought was junk for 7 years? Absolutely, Kev. They're the sort of stories that we need coming through. We've also got some really nice detecting stories in this month's issue, but leading up to Christmas, we need more and more. So this is more of a plea from me to use people to get to get some stories in. You should meet the Unearthed team. We do that, Darren. We do a middle section of the Unearthed. I don't know if you mean the Unearthed YouTube gang, but we do a middle section of the magazine dedicated to them each time. And of course, there are people that go out like Kev and Dale and Robert and Will and Susie, etc. And Jason, and Tat. So we do that middle bit. But so there you go. We've got a lot going on, but we need more content. We do need more content. If we don't get the content, folks, it'll end up slipping back to the days of what you're already used to. And we set this magazine up purely for the detectorists. We keep the adverts to a minimum. It costs us a considerable amount of money to make, but we think it's worth it. Let me just see this coming through now from David Dickinson. Hope to see you at Fed Rally. Chipping Preston to be confirmed by Bill Hargreaves end of September. No, he's a fan of yours. Maybe Kev's Roman ring is one half of a swivel like mine. I don't know, David. We'll see about that. I've got a lot of rallies. Well, I don't call them rallies. I've got a lot of the Unearthed organised digs coming up this year, and that's something I'm going to talk about in a minute. But I'll be, if we can make it, we'll be there. We'll be there, my friend. Michael, where's Michael? Do you know what? There's a lot of good stuff coming through tonight. Let me just knock my phone off because my phone keeps bleeping, and I think it's bleeping because it's picking up a lot of notifications. So I'm going to knock that off. And say bye-bye to that. I could do stories on some of the more unusual detector repairs now and then. Do it, Michael. Do it. Anything like that would be good. Anything like that would be fantastic. I think Treasure Huntress, we've got one from you already, which is fantastic, I have to say. Something out of the ordinary. I have a few stories already prepared for future months. This month's Dinky Toy, which I hope you liked, I did. It was a fabulous story. I did reply to you, remember, I think, and apologies if I didn't, but I'm pretty sure I did. But it's already been given the thumbs up by the editors of the magazine as well. So well done for that. Catherine Lang, good to see you, Catherine. She comes on I've pressed the wrong button, Catherine, so I do apologise. I got Kev instead. So excited, my FLO wants to see me. And this ring, she replied soon as she saw the picture of the ring. That's good news, Kev. Excellent. Couldn't happen to a nicer fella. Detective Kev, what a ledge. What a legend. Let me just see if I can phase this message out and phase a new one in. It's very slow, but we're coming. I can see it coming. It's like, come on, power it on. Come on. Where are you? No, still wouldn't have it. Try again. There we go. The new media specialist has already been recruited and started this week. Fabulous news. Let's hope, Catherine, that we can get this lot sorted out quickly, responsibly, and moving on to bigger and better things. Chris Kirk, he's going to send one over at the weekend. What a good fella he is. What's the deadline of the copy? We've got 10 days or so, Percy. We've still got 10 days left. Even though the clock's ticking, we've still got 10 days left. In fact, I've got to do my own piece for the magazine. But we've got to make strides now because we set such a high, what's the word I'm looking for, Mel? Such a high standard in the first few copies. We've got to make sure we continue down that route. We've got about 4 or 5 dropped off, folks, for whatever reason. We've got Mark Fiorelli. Hello from Buffalo, New York. There you go, folks. We've got somebody from New York. What a pleasure. Hope you're well, sir. Not sure what the time is over there. Probably 5 or 6 hours behind, I guess. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. We can talk about another article that may have come through from Stanslad. I could tell you about me detecting all day, finding now, and my dad picking up a gold seal ring dated to 1560 sat on the service while picking up some pottery. Do it. Do it, Stanslad. There's one thing about these drinks, folks. I'm going to show you that. Melanie's hooked on Tesco's Ashbeck English spring water, but it's sparkling. She got it by mistake, and we're like, "Whoa, sparkling water! No, it just doesn't happen." A week later, we both love it. So there you go.
Because the bath ones that you got.
Hi, mate, from Jason Warner. Hello, my friend. You do look like Jason Statham. Is that the right word on your picture? Kev's back on, doing a piece about tennis balls, Percy. So you must know each other, I guess. But yeah, I mean, let's not beat around the bush. The magazine now, we need to kick it on because we've got thousands, literally thousands and thousands of subscribers, viewers, whatever the word is, people linking in with that magazine. I just need to make it better each time we do it, and that's the goal. There's people out there that don't like the idea of us doing a magazine because it's like breaking the mold. But you know what? We're all about breaking the mold. When Unearthed started with Unearthed as a business over a decade ago, we broke the mold. People didn't like it. I don't care. I like to do my own thing. I don't toe the line with anybody, and I'm certainly not a sheep. If I think there's a gap in the market for things like magazines and detecting related stuff, we'll go for it. Colin McAlpine, Roman expert, and he won't mind me saying that. The Detectorist e-magazine costs nothing. It's delivered free and is the only media representation of our hobby that is not promotional. I find that very flattering, Colin. I have to agree with you 100% on it. I mean, we just got to make sure we do the right thing for people. I just think it's the way forward. I just think it's a way forward. So thank you kindly for them words, Col. You absolute legend. I think Bizro is going to a family funeral tomorrow. If I can bring it up. Anyway, if you're leaving, best wishes to everybody tomorrow, mate. Nothing. I can't think of anything worse than a family funeral. It's horrible, horrible time. So Kev says tough scrunch. We love the mag. We do, absolutely do. It's massive. I look at the subscription list all the time, and I just can't believe how many. We've got people from America, we've got people from Australia, New Zealand, Europe, of course, UK, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, you know, you name it. It's just really, really gone down well, and we just need to continue to make sure that people enjoy it. We've got History on Earth. Random question: is it me, or does everyone else find golf balls in the middle of nowhere? We do. We found a record 40 golf balls once. I think it was over 40 golf balls on one field, on one ploughed field. And it is in the middle of nowhere, but it's at the back end of the golf course. So 40 odd, and we give them to the farmer because he plays golf. Right. What are you laughing at, Mel?
You screwed your face up, didn't you?
It's that spring water, isn't it? So golf balls is a big yes. In World War II, there was a flight officer said, if you take flak, win over the target and keep going. Love the mad good read. Absolutely, Kev. I do not back down or do anything to anybody. I do my own thing, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. And I do it for best intentions as well. You know, we get trolled. Unearth gets trolled by idiots out there and other outlets or whatever it is, and they just do it because they don't like the idea of us being in existence. But you know what? We ain't going anywhere. Good point, actually, from Rob. Yeah, yes, mostly dog walkers leaving them in the fields, in my fields. So I guess, Rob, you're a farmer. Good to see you, sir. Now then, another thing, and I'll break it to this sort of group. And you know what? Let's just get it out there. It's looking highly likely that we're going to be stocking some new detectors soon, folks. A new manufacturer coming on board. A new manufacturer is coming on board with Unearthed. We're going to work in partnership with them, and we're going to be selling more different types of detectors. Probably see quite a lot of different detectors on the market soon. Not new ones necessarily, but they're going to be coming in the future. But we're going to be selling more stock. So watch this space on that. We're going to be doing some hopefully pretty good work around that. We have been extremely busy. So much so when our head hits the pillow at night, we're flat out. It's that sort of exhaustion. So Rob Jones, I'm missing some things. It's just a little bit slow. Oh, here we go. Going completely off track now. I think the archaeologists are missing a big opportunity. I really think that we should all pull together. Global warming will raise sea levels and we'll lose so much. No, it's a good point, Mike. Never, you know, I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists by any stretch of the imagination, but you only have to look around you what's happening to the world. There's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of unsettled individuals out there, and also the weather. I can feel the weather changing, and I can tell you why I feel the weather changing, because for many years I was a sea fisherman and still am, and I was amazed when I went back to bass fishing a few summers ago, because I was mainly confined to winter fishing. I went bass fishing a few years ago, and I couldn't believe when I stuck both my hands in the seawater and it felt like bath water. Years before that, the seawater was never that warm. It was literally as warm as the outside temperature. I couldn't feel the difference, and I found that rather interesting. So when we were kids and we lived next to the sea, it was freezing all the time. The seawater in the summer. Now it's not. No, there's something changing. We've got mudslinger dangers of metal detecting till dark. I have climbed a 3-foot wall only to fall 30 foot into the water course, laying on my back, scope in hand, 6 inches of water in the winter. You've got to be careful, mudslinger. We're not getting any younger. Colin McAlpine comes in with Rob Jones, a man with a story. Yeah, let's hope he comes back with that. But you know, it's all good stuff, isn't it? It's all good stuff. So we can knock that one off. Things are actually starting to work a little bit more. We've got more people actually coming on. No, we haven't. We've got more people coming on YouTube. Facebook seems to have dropped off just a little bit, but it's all coming on YouTube at the moment, so that's fine. So if there's anything, the other thing is as well, folks, and I've got to get this out. This is one of the other reasons why we've done the live stream tonight. We've talked about the NCMD, the situation there, which isn't good, but hopefully getting sorted. And I'm sure the people that are in place to get it sorted will do that. We've also talked about the magazine, which is vitally important for us, but it's also vitally important for the people that have subscribed to it to see that we can keep that level of professionalism going within the pages of that e-magazine. But we've also talked about us stocking some new detectors coming on board with another manufacturer soon. But we're also, and a lot of you people that watch the Unearthed YouTube channel will know that we, both me, myself, Melanie and Gary, who's our friend who helps us on the digs, that we are doing more and more unearthed organised digs now than ever. Now, there's a reason for that, and the reason is not only have I got myself into a situation where I feel obliged that I've got to put these digs on, and a lot of it's down to the fact that we've got lots of land, and we're lucky enough to have lots of land to search, and some really nice farmers that are personal friends. For some reason, I seem to get on with farmers much better, or agricultural types, than anybody else. So there you go. There's something in that. But on a serious note, we've got more digs coming up this year and into the next. Now, the reason why we do that is quite simple. We want to make sure that we give people the enjoyment, the experience, and the chance to hopefully find, fingers crossed, some really nice coins and artifacts. Now, there's people on our unearthed digs that have never found hammered before, never found Roman before. They start attending our digs and they start finding hammered and Roman coins. Now, for me, I get, and I don't know if it's just me being weird, but I get as much buzz out of seeing somebody find a hammered coin for the first time. Just the same feeling as I would myself, if that makes sense. I think there's nothing better than to watch somebody find something of note for the first time, and we've give them that opportunity to do it. I just feel it's a really good feeling that people find stuff. But also, we're uncovering the history of the county as well. We're having the chance to show farmers and landowners what's hidden around their farms, and we're sharing that experience with you people by film. And we hope and we try our very best to do everything by the book professionally. We don't have any we don't have any fools. We don't suffer any fools. We handpick the people. And I just love the fact that people are out there. And this is the thing. This is the thing that struck me more than just about anything what I've just spoken about for the last 5 minutes, is the amount of people that use it as a social outlet. So, for example, we have people that I would never have dreamt that would be speaking to each other, or wandering around the fields with each other, or speaking to each other after the event on Facebook and social media, or even in some cases, private messages and over the phone, and actually making true friends. And I think that's absolutely amazing. I said to Melanie only last week, I can't believe there's so many people on our digs that get on so well and forming little groups, not cliquey groups, but they get on well. They find almost like what's the word I'm looking for, Mel?
Friendship circle.
Yeah, like a friendship circle. I was going to say soul partner, but that's not what. No,
That's not right.
It's almost like the finding like-minded people and getting on really well with them, and they're making good friends, and they're walking off the fields together, chatting, and I'm thinking, he's from north, he's from down south, yet they're getting on so well. It's heartwarming, literally heartwarming, to see how many people enjoy the company of other detectorists while they're out in the field. And you know what? If they don't find a great deal, it doesn't matter. They have such a good time. It's like a brotherhood, Michael says. It's a brotherhood, camaraderie. It's like a cult, Liddy says. It's like a cult. It's a gathering, but they all get on really well. And it's heartwarming to see that. Now, the other thing, the last thing that we have to do as well is be aware. And I've got to be careful how I say this, because I don't want to come across as being some sort of elitist control freak in any way. But there is a growing number of new, young dig organisers, rally organisers, commercial rally organisers coming into the north and the northwest and other places now, just to make a few quid off the back of organised digs and farmers. Now, that's been going on for a long time. I've got no problem with that. What I've got a problem with is when they start taking up huge counties and they're in it for the money, and then, and this is where it hurts, is they're saying to people, I've got 250 acres of virgin land here that's never been touched, come and fill your boots. And then there's people like me sitting back and saying to myself, I was on that field 10 years ago privately with my friends, or I was on that field 15 years ago. We didn't find a great deal, but we pretty much did it for a few months. We found this, this, and this. And then there's these commercial dig organisers coming along and saying it's virgin land and putting a dig on for a weekend, a day, a Saturday, and maybe taking 500 or 600 quid away with them. We've just got to be careful. So we might be a different breed. We might be old school. We're doing it for valid reasons and honourable reasons, and the unearthed digs will carry on. The biggest problem we've got is fulfilling people's needs, because we can only fit in 40 people. I can't do any more than that. We don't want to do any more than that. If you do any more than that, you end up being commercial. We have a lot. Melanie says we have a long waiting list of people. We'll try our very best to accommodate people, and we all get on pretty well. We all get on pretty well. And then they are genuinely nice people that come on our digs. However, and I have to say this because, I'm that sort of person and I like to share things and get things off my chest. We did have at the weekend on the unearthed dig, and you've probably seen that last video that we put on, which was a couple of days old now. We found some things. Danny found a nice silver denarius of Hadrian, and Chris found a nice hammered coin, Henry VII, Henry VIII sovereign type penny. Louise found a nice Celtic Iron Age toggle. Gluey found a nice Roman brooch. Mark found a sesterce of Trajan, and Neil found a sesterce or a Japonidas of possibly of a similar emperor. And there was Gaz Brewer found a wonderful silver brooch, and there was a few copper coins and bits and pieces, buckles and things that turned up. But I did get wind the very next day on the Monday, but when I was back at work, I did get a phone call of somebody saying that they heard people in the field saying that the farm had already been detected on, and it had been done to the death because it was too quiet. Now, there's two things there. We try our very best to put people on virgin land, and that's what it was on Sunday. If it wasn't virgin land, the chances are these finds would never have been found anyway. They would have been found by somebody else. But we can never really know what's under the ground until we scan it with our detectors. And as you guys know, we've got to search fields as a group in a systematic way to uncover the history of the ground. But the worrying thing is it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to me because I've got to put the hard work in to find the farms in the first place, and Melanie, of course. And it's frustrating at the same time that they can't come up to me and say it, but they'd rather say it out in the field. Now, the problem is they don't really understand that the work that goes on behind the scenes in running an organised dig. And you only ever find out what that work is when you start doing them, from giving people postcodes, making sure people are there on time, making sure people are indeed detecting on the right fields, making sure the farmer's happy, making sure you visit the land before the dig starts to check for green waste, which is all of an expense, driving up and down the motorway, checking for green waste a week or two before the dig's set on or set up. And then, of course, you've got to make sure that the ground and the fields are in the correct condition for people to have a decent day. You've got to organise parking. You've got to organise lots and lots of different things. And at the same time, make sure people are doing the right thing by filling the holes in. So be under no illusion that running an organised dig is a full-time job. Believe me, it's a full-time job. Now, people might say, you know what, it sounds too much hassle. Why do you do it? And I sometimes think to myself, why do I do it? Because it'll be a lot less hassle if I didn't do it. But the reason why we do it is because we've now got a good following. We've got a good group of people that they don't rely on Unearthed to put on digs, but they pretty much enjoy the experience. And it's our way of saying thanks to them for being loyal and being customers of Unearthed. So we do it for that reason. And we do it again for the reason I said earlier, is because we want to put finds in people's pockets. We want to make sure people are, finding things and enjoying the experience of finding things, and then turning around and having that experience of sharing that wonderful coin or artifact with like-minded people. So, yeah, and David Dickinson says it, putting the signs out early, which we're getting new signs made this week, actually, David, because that's one thing we're not brilliant at, is putting signs up. We did put signs up last week, but anyway, so there you go. So, we try our best to put these digs on. We can't keep everybody happy. It's an impossible job, because there's detectorists out there that are completely different to what me and you are like, or us. So there's detectorists in my eyes, there's three types of detectorists. There's the detectorist that is very passionate about the hobby and will stick in at the hobby until he absolutely finds what he's actually looking for, right? So he's really dedicated and he'll grind out a field until right at the end of the day he finds that hammered coin, or he finds that denarius, or he finds that Roman brooch. And these are the ones that I like to name, not the professional detectorists, but the hardened true detectorists, which is a lot of us like that. And then you've got the other one that says to himself, well, you know what, I'm not going to be able to cover all these fields because for whatever reason, but I'm going to go and give it my best shot. If I find something, it's a bonus. And just outside to enjoy the day, get a bit of exercise, and also meet some fellow like-minded people. That's the second type of detectorist. And then you've got the third type, which is the worst, in my view, is the detectorist that goes out purely looking for money or gold, silver, or whatever it might be. And within the first hour, if they don't find anything, then the heads drop, they start mourning, and by dinner time, they've gone home. So luckily for us, we haven't got any of them type on our digs, I don't think. Even though we did have a whinger on Sunday, what we have got is a group of highly professional, like-minded detectorists that want to do the best on the day for themselves and the dig group. So that's why we do it, folks. And I hope that sort of for you, you understand where I'm coming from with it. But it's difficult. It's a difficult game. But we are going to be doing more and more. It's one of the hardest jobs out there. And JB173, finding a farm, checking it out, and running a business, you've both got my respect. It's tiring. It's absolutely tiring. And you know what? As well, these farms that I find for people to go detecting on and enjoying, I could use these farms. Is use the right word? I could detect these farms myself on a personal level, and just detect them myself. Me and Gaz, or a couple more could go on it. Me, Gaz, and Jimmy, if we wanted to, we could just go onto these farms as just a little group, 3 or 4 of us, without putting organised digs on. So there you go. We've got.
There is a long waiting list now to get in.
But there's a long waiting, like Melanie said, there's a long waiting list because we can't go over that magical 45, 40 people. We've got to keep it to around about the 40. I'm a mix of the first and the second. I love the banter, the outdoors, but I also work hard to find history. I like that, Darren. And you're more than welcome, sir, to come on. I'll get your name down for some of the digs. We'll put you on the list. Doodles gone digging. Screw gold and silver. I just want to find a crotal bell. Been searching for 13 years to find it. Doodles, the best place to find a crotal bell is East Anglia. It's crammed with them. East Anglia is crammed with them. Some of them are broken. A lot of them are broken. But if you're lucky enough, you'll get some full ones. So get yourself that to East Anglia, even if it's a rally. We've got the Suffolk Hunter on. Love meeting fellow detectives. My God, the knowledge they have passed on has been immeasurable. Absolutely fantastic. You're right. And here we go. Critch, what a legend that guy is. Hi, Mel and Graham from the Salford Massive just joined you. What a man he is. Critch. If any of you ever meet Critch on a dig, shake him warmly by the hand. I'm still after a cut half. Again, Andrew, cut halves, quite common in East Anglia, Lincolnshire. We find a lot. There was a time when I actually found more cut halves in a year than I did full coins. We've got the treasure hunters. I would love to attend on one of the unearthed digs. I really would love to meet you all, you lovely people. Anybody else from Surrey here? I think there is somebody from Surrey. Have we got who have we got that comes on the live streams from Surrey? I can't remember now. I was talking to somebody from Surrey today, by the way, a gentleman called Steve Cox, who repairs Minelab machines. What a gentleman he was. I'm damn sure he was from Surrey. So Mel says hi to Chris. There she is. He's a legend. Rob Quince, it's taken me 2 years to find something decent. It's about enjoying the hobby for me. Absolutely, Rob. Absolutely, sir. And we've also got another Rob coming in. Rob Jones, been detecting over 20 years, just found my first silver denarius, was well happy. Everything comes to he who waits, Rob. You've got to be in the areas where Romans were thick on the ground to have any luck for the denarius, where the legions were, the denarius are. Where the legions were, the denarius are, folks. Remember that one, because it is true. Lots and lots of wonderful messages found. 2 quarter next to my mate's hole, ripped him about that. I bet you did. I bet you did. Percy, I've been pounding a 5-acre field for 3 months, grinding north-south, then back over again east-west. I won't leave any decent signal undug. It's paid off dividends. Exactly. The small paddock-sized fields sometimes are the best. No, I don't want to be blocking anybody by a touch of a button. Oxfordshire is good for crotal bells, 189 in the shed at the last count. Wow, that's a lot of crotal bells. That's a lot. So Oxfordshire's full of crotal bells. Somebody from Oxford, somebody's saying, come to Essex, not too bad. Not that bad. Sorry. Somebody's saying watermelon on Facebook with a rather like a surprised expression on the face. I don't know who that is. Where we at? Kavika, keep swinging and the worm will turn for you. Absolutely. Keep swinging. You know what? The more you swing, you're nearer you are to that next decent find. No, it's come from Facebook, Mel. All right, okay. Anyway, whoever it is saying water, I'm drinking sparkling spring water, which is not good. But when you get used to drinking it, it's not. It's what?
Really nice.
Yeah, water, plenty of water. I'll be drinking plenty of water this weekend because I'm on my travels into one of the southern counties to find anything of note. So keep an eye out, folks, because I'll be putting a video on Sunday, Monday of my exploits. Rob Quince, I've just posted. Hang on. I heard only last week a club had lost its farm to another rally because they were offered more money. I guess that's the curse of commercial rallies, a cutthroat world. It is. Do you know what it is? And there's lots of people sat there saying, oh, I can't stand my job, or I'm on the dole, or whatever it might be. Whatever it might. I want to go into business, I'm sick of my boss at work, which I can fully understand. And the first thing they think of, because they detect as a hobby, is I'm going to make a few quid out of metal detecting. So what do? They go and contact a farm, or they put some post on social media attracting farmers in. I'll give you 500 quid a day to let you on my land. And they don't do the homework on the land. I've known rally organisers put people on green waste fields. I've known rally organisers do done-to-death farms and say they're virgin land. And I just think at some point it's taking the piss out of the detectorists. I really do. And I just think it is. I just think it's wrong. I just think it's absolutely wrong. David Dickinson says there's a few bells in Cheshire. There's a few bells around here as well, David, but not the crotal bell type, I tell you. I've just posted on Facebook for my idea of a cut half. Well done, Rob. Well done. But that's looking at that there. I only heard last week a club lost its farm to another rally. What Alan says, it's just wrong. It's cutthroat. There's that many people coming into the commercial rally game now. And here's the thing. A lot of them are not detectorists. They're trying to make money in any way they can. Now, I've got no problem with people making money if they do it in the right manner. But don't try to pull the wool over people's eyes and say, I'm going to put you on that farm down that road because it's never been done before. And you get on it and you spend, 25 quid or whatever these commercial rallies are charging now. I did hear one commercial rally was charging 30 quid a day or 40 quid a day, was it? Anyway, 30 or 40 quid. And, then they wonder why they're not finding a great deal because the likes of me, you and everybody else have been all over that farm years before. So we've got work for yourself, customer is the boss. Yeah, unfortunately, Dave. I mean, we have some really good customers, but you got to be careful, aren't you, with some. We have found loads on some places, give it all to the farmer. Then they never let us come back and put a rally on for 40 quid each. Yeah, 40 quid. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and you guys have been all over it. It's difficult. It's a difficult game. Been on a couple of local Norfolk digs, and my wife has seen the smile back on the face. Guys and ladies, I'm a true example of how it helps mental health. Please enjoy this glorious hobby. Fantastic. Facebook dig group just archived. Very sad. I don't know what that one is. Is it a dig group, Doodles, or is it your dig group? Will be interesting to see what you come back with on that one. Hi, Darren. See you Sunday. I guess that's Darren Booth. He's asking the question too. We've got lad and dad detectorists. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Hello, welcome, sir. And I don't know if there's two of you watching, lad and dad, but if it's dad, welcome. If it's lad, welcome. Mel's laughing at me, which she normally does anyway. Suffolk got the same here, which is good to hear, isn't it? I just wish some of you guys lived a bit nearer. I do, because I'd love to have you on one of the Unearthed digs for a day or two. I'm just going to troll back up because I've lost a lot of. I can't see. I've lost a lot of. Sorry, folks. I've lost a lot of earlier messages. Doodle says one I attended in Scotland. Yeah, I know it's difficult. It's you know, I've had some really good experiences on digs, and I've enjoyed the, you know, meeting people and everything else. But it's just a changed world now. It's just changed so much. Anyway, you know, what can we do? Too many people on the planet, that's what it is. Too many people doing the same thing, chasing the same people. David Dickinson, unfortunately, not family time planned. So, unfortunately for Darren, he can't make the dig that you're talking about, David, but I'm sure Darren will be there. He says, scritching his neck on the next one. So, folks, there you go. Keep an eye out for that. But also going back for the new people that have just come on, have a think about the magazine, because it's there. It's for you people. It's a magazine that's produced for the Unearthed. Sorry, it's a magazine that's produced for the Detectorist by Unearthed. And, you know, any stories that you've got, bang them over. Anything. If you found a lovely cut half, if you found a lovely Roman brooch, if you found a lovely silver ring, or whatever it might be, it doesn't have to be something really special. It just a find that makes you, you know, rocks your boat sort of thing, or your favourite artifact, or whatever it might be. Get them over. Graham, I promise I will drop in on my next business trip to Faslane. No, you're more than welcome, sir. More than welcome. You are more than welcome to come along. Come and give us a shout. Have a cup of tea. When are you back filming on the TV series? The TV series is kicking on next month, Danny. So we've got a meeting next week with the team to see when it's going to be planned. So it's going to be very, very intense. So that's one of the reasons why, Danny, I'm getting these Unearthed organised digs in now, because there'll come a time when I'll be away every weekend filming for the ITV show. So I think we've got to do these farms while they're coming off, while they're still hot. And when I say while they're hot, I mean the crops are coming off. And then there'll be a lull, because the filming will kick in. And I think the filming is going to be pretty much intense. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge. And I'm slightly apprehensive about it, but I'm also very excited about it. And I just need this finger sorted out before that starts, because I don't want to be going with all this pain going on in the end of it. Yeah, so look out for it. I think I've got a sneaky feeling it'll be a hit, and I've got a sneaky feeling a lot of people will enjoy it. And of course, a lot of you people watch the pilot episode, which I actually put on the other day. I've not seen it for nearly a year, and I put it on and watched it, and I quite enjoyed it. It's very difficult watching yourself on telly, but I actually watched things that I'd missed the first time round, believe it or not. So there you go. Melanie's just said she'll run the digs when I'm not here. If I'm away filming, Melanie will run the digs, even though Melanie can't drive. So she was born to be driven, and someone will drive her. There you go. Watch this space. Colin McCalpine, any news on the book? The book is still due to be launched, and he says this really sort of nervously. My book is going to be launched at the end of the month. End of next month. End of September. And I don't know how it's going to be received, Colin. I really don't know. I actually wrote it quite a while back now, and the COVID situation really pushed the book back significantly. It pushed it back that much that I sort of pretty much give up any hope of it ever becoming published. But I have been told by good authority that the publishers have sent it away, and it's going to be set to print and released at the end of September. So watch this space. How it goes down, I hope a lot of people enjoy it. I hope a lot of people relate to it, and I'm damn sure there'll be people slating it, but I tried my best. I tried my very best to give people advice. Suffolk Hunter says he can't wait for the TV series. No, it'll be good. Do you know what? I'm pretty much sort of tied to what the production company want in so much as content and things. But you know, we want to do it in such a way that the detectorists can relate to it, have a little bit of fun and light-hearted banter at the same time. But I also want you to think that, you know, detecting isn't all about finding treasure. You know, there's going to be a mixture of everything on these films. So I'm hoping, Suffolk Hunter, that you'll enjoy it, and I think you will enjoy it. But we've got to keep it real. That's the key. Colin says, get your pre-orders in. Well, yeah, there's people been pre-ordering it, actually, from people like W.H. Smith. And then W.H. Smith have been giving people refunds on it because it's been going on that long. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. All I know is that ourselves will pick up a decent-sized batch of books. And who knows, we'll give a few giveaways. You might even see them in second-hand shops or charity shops at some point. I'm thinking of getting another detector. What would you recommend, Graham? It depends, Rob, what you're thinking of getting. I know you've got the Simplex at the moment. I do apologise for getting that wrong last week, but you're on the Simplex now, which is a good machine. I'm not sure what sort of detecting or what you're wanting to get out. I mean, there's so many good machines out there, Rob. There really is. There's the opportunity to stick with Nocta and their range of machines. And of course, Nocta have got a new machine coming up this year, a new multi-frequency detector, which by all accounts should be really good. You know, I really do like the guys at Nocta. I think they're a fast-moving company moving forward, I should say. But you've also got to remember that there's a lot of other machines out there that do the business. So if you're an arable detectorist, there's things like the G2 Plus, which are really good machines, underrated in my opinion. And I've used one for a number of years and found my very best finds with that machine, actually. You know, period. Some of the rarest coins and artifacts that I've ever found have come off the back of the 19 kilohertz G2 Plus. But then you've also got things like the Equinox, which is a damn fine machine when it's used in the correct manner. So you've got a choice of quite a lot. You've got the choice of quite a lot. But it's your choice at the end of the day. I will buy the book. You might be one of six. You might be one of six people that buy the book. And you've got, I'll have my order in for your book. No doubt it's for the people who love detecting. It is absolutely. That's exactly what I've done it for. Do you know what? I can remember sitting down here on my old laptop when I was writing the book. I had a light here on, and I had a light in that corner on, and I was down here looking at the time. Melanie was upstairs flat out, and it was 1 o'clock, 1:08 or 1:09 or whatever it was. And I had a mental block, and I got to something like chapter 12, and I couldn't write anymore. I just had this mental block, and I got to bed, and everything's spinning around your head. I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I remembered what I wanted to put down on paper. So there you go, folks. You have mental blocks, got up in the night, carried on. And that happened about 10 times. It happened multiple times. So where are we at? Will the location be based down south? It's a good point, actually, Alan. The locations for the filming will be, I'm presuming and hoping that it'll be all over the country. So we might have some in the north, we might have some in the Midlands, we might have some in the south, we might have some in the east and some in the west. So the plan is to do to give people the experience of how detecting in this country is north, south, east, west. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. Doodles, sorry, got to go early start in the morning. Good to see you, sir. You take care. Great image, by the way. I love it. I love it. Everyone's saying good night to you. We've got 32 people still on, which is good. When metal detecting, Mudslinger, when metal detecting, always feel free to jump into the hawthorn hedge if the cows get playful, forget the machine. Lots of people have done it as well. Lots of people have done it before. Well, maybe not including myself. Maybe not jumped in the hedge, but I've pretty much ran from a group of cows, a herd of cows, even I should say. Right, folks. So we're going to knock it off in about a quarter of an hour. So if there's anything else people want to really get the teeth into, do it. Rob Jones, Nox is awesome once you master it. It absolutely is. it's got its flaws as the Equinox. It's got, I've never been a lover of the coil on it, and I said this to people in the past that I've never really been a lover of it because it's too fat and wide for my sights. It's good on clean pasture though, and lots of people enjoy it for clean pasture searching. But they're a terrific detector once you get used to them. The ability to ignore hot rocks and cork really does me. It really sort of gives a big thumbs up for me, because some of my single frequency detectors that I've used in the past have been absolute cork magnets and hot rock magnets. So having the ability to get rid of the cork is a massive plus to me. And of course, it's a deep seeking detector and it loves hammered silver. One thing about the Equinox for me is it has that lovely tone around hammered silver, which is brilliant. So we've got any advice on the Equinox? See, the thing is, Gary, I don't really use my Equinox on the beach. I'm not an average beach detector like I used to be. So I guess you may have to go on some of the sites. And my advice for my Equinox type of searching is I keep mine extremely simple. I don't go into 50 tones. I don't even go into 5 tones much. I sometimes do, but I keep it pretty much. I keep that machine pretty much as simple as I possibly can. I have it on field 1. If I can get away with field 1 on some of my iron sites, I have it on 2-tone. I don't even have the maximum volume. I have maximum volume. I don't have it maxed out on the sensitivity levels either. Recovery speed can be anywhere between 4 and 5. And I have the iron bias on around about 2 mainly. Rob Quince, sorry about the mix-up last week, Graham. I sent you a couple of messages, Rob, and you never got a reply. I actually tagged you in a post on Facebook, and then I sent you a message via to your Facebook Messenger, and it's probably gone into spam or something. So, but I did do it. Is there really such a thing as a bad detector? I only say that as even a novice can strike lucky. No, it's true, it is. A lot of detectors, Suffolk, sorry, I knocked you off by mistake. A lot of detectors will find things. The problem you've got is when it comes to being an avid detectorist, you want to make sure that you've got the best detector at your disposal that you know is going to do the business. So, for example, I couldn't use a certain type of single frequency detector knowing that I'm going to be and knowing that it's going to give me bad tones or horrible tones, a horrible sounding thing. It's going to be a bit dull and a bit slow recovery speed. And it's also going to be a hot rock magnet or a cork magnet. So there is subtle differences. You've got to eliminate certain things. I mean, some of these high frequency, very quick machines are very good. But I'm hoping that, the future metal detectors will eliminate a lot of that sort of stuff. Thanks for your advice. No problem, Gary. Good to see you on here, sir. John Clayton. Hi, Percy. So obviously John knows Percy. Genetics probably means Technetics bringing out a new machine. I think you'll probably see, Hugh, a new machine coming from that manufacturer. You got to remember Technetics are also made in the same factory as Fisher, who've been around a long time. Some of my favourite detectors were the Fisher machines of the past. And of course, I used to use the Technetics T2 and the G2 Plus with a degree of success. Should I sell my XP Deus? No, I used to use a Deus. There's nothing wrong with the XP Deus. There's two things that stand out with me for the XP Deus. Is this? It's a light machine. It's got very good balance. It's a very quick machine. It's a sensitive machine. It will find your hammered silver all day. I suppose the downside of that is the Deus for me at the time was it wasn't the deepest machine on the planet. Me Fisher F75 used to beat it for depth on deep artifacts and coins, and of course it was overpriced. So what's your best detecting moment, Graham, when you just like shaking, so to speak? Oh, it's a difficult one, mate. I've had so many sort of... I'll tell you one experience that I did have not that long ago, 2016, and this is a true story. I may write this in the magazine one day. I was detecting on a really nice field, and it was a field that's produced some really nice coins and artifacts over the years. And it's a rather large field, and there's 3 of them in a line along a road that we detect periodically. And this particular day, the farmer had ploughed it, rolled it, and it wasn't much air in the field. Now, if there's a lot of air in the field, you can struggle, but this was pretty compact soil. And by all accounts, it was a pretty decent, we would have had a pretty decent day ahead of us. The weather was good, not too cold, not too warm, perfect conditions. And I stood at the field in the morning and I thought to myself, we're going to have a good day today. There was 3 of us detecting and we set off on one field, and there was a few little bits and pieces turn up. But by dinner time, I had very little to show, not through lack of effort, I have to say. And I was talking to the other 2 lads at the car, and I think one of them had a couple of hammered coins, and one of them had a couple of Roman bits and pieces and a couple of artifacts. And I thought, well, you know what? It can't get any worse for me in the afternoon. So I carried on detecting. Now, remember, we sort of finish about 4:45, 5 o'clock, because we've got a 3-hour journey home from where we detect. So the clock was ticking. And as the clock was ticking, I was becoming more and more frantic, because I was aware of my other 2 detecting partners finding quite a lot of stuff. I think one of them had another couple of hammered, one of them had a bit of gold artifact. There was bits and pieces of all sorts coming up. I think one of them had a bit of a Viking artifact, a broken Viking artifact, a denarius or whatever it might have been as well. So by 3 o'clock, I remember stopping detecting and picking up my phone, and I don't often do this. And I was very despondent, and I rang Melanie up and I said, Mel, how are you doing? Are you having a good day? I said, no, I'm having an absolute horrific day. It's the worst day's detecting I've had in a long time. My fines pouch is empty. I've got nothing to show from it. Days like this, I could just turn my detector off, stick it in the back of the car and go home. And she said to me, just clear your mind, enjoy the day, enjoy the fresh air, and something will come up. And this was about 3 o'clock. By 4:45, so I did exactly what she said. I did exactly what I thought. I thought, you know what, you're right. Clear my head, clear my mind, get rid of my bad negative thoughts or whatever was going on in my head at that time, and just enjoy wandering around that field. If you find something, it's a bonus. It's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And I can remember walking straight down the field towards the telegraph pole, and I found a denarius. And I thought, wow, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. I sat there looking at this silver denarius thinking, wow, fantastic. Straight in the fines box, a couple of pictures, banged it on social media. Happy days. I was happy. And it was almost like a huge weight had lifted off my shoulders, because the next couple of minutes I found a pilgrim's ampulla made of lead. I then found a half-cut hammered of Henry III. And I thought, you know what? This isn't a bad day. This isn't a bad day. And I pretty much aimlessly wandered around in no search pattern whatsoever, just up and down, or round in circles, or just let the detector lead me wherever it wanted me to go. And by 4:45, I decided, I got a signal which came up on the machine at 49 on the scale. I always remember it. And I didn't even dig it. I actually scraped the mud with my foot. Now, how many of you guys detect on arable land and sometimes scrape the mud away with your foot for the signal? Well, I did. I scraped the mud, 4:45. And I looked down where my foot had scraped the soil, and I kid you not, a gold hammered was just lying there where I'd scraped the top off. And I stood there looking at it, and I thought, because when you find something like that, gold hammered, or anything gold or desirable, your mind sometimes tells you it's something else. So I can remember thinking, no, it can't be a gold hammered, but it bloody well looks like one. But I don't think it is. I think it's a gold bottle top or whatever. And I slowly bent down to pick it up, realizing as I'm bending down slowly towards this gold coin that indeed it was. And I picked it up and I looked at it, and it was a James I gold half crown, which I've never found one of them before. I found gold hammered before, but I've never found a James I one. And I actually looked at it for 5 minutes in awe, because it was a lovely little coin. Flipped it over a few times in my hand, and I turned the detector off, and I made sure that was my last signal. I didn't even check if there was any more coins or artifacts or anything else, if it was part of a purse loss or anything, which is a bit amateurish. But in my mind, I'd found what I wanted to find. I'd had a good day. You don't get greedy. And I turned my detector off and I walked back to the car. And that's one story that I'll always remember it. You got to remember, by 3 o'clock, my fines box was empty. But I managed to take Melanie's advice, clear my mind, and the fines came up. And how many times has that happened to people? It's just absolutely amazing that, that these things happen. So yeah, that's one of the best recent detecting stories I had. But you know, when I found the Matilda, I mean, you know, I can talk about when I found the Stephen and Matilda penny, which was extremely rare. That was another one. You know, all day I wandered around all day on that particular field, and all week that week I had a vision of that field being ploughed because I'd never been on it in 10 years. And it's in an area that we've blitzed all the fields surrounding it and found some really nice things. But I thought, you know, we've got, for some bizarre reason, that field came into my mind a week or two, maybe 2 weeks before we actually went down to it. And it was ploughed. It was in decent condition. It was one of them muggy, dull days, but the temperature was maybe around about 23, 24 degrees, so rather warm. And I just thought, I'm going to detect that field all day because I think there's something good going to come out of it. Got to remember when I was on there 10 years previous, nothing came off. I think over the one side by the hedgerow, I found a Henry III penny. And that's probably about the best find that I came off that particular field. So it didn't have any draw to me other than it was available. And for some bizarre reason, I kept on thinking about that particular field. So I wandered around it all morning, found nothing. Had dinner there at the side of the field, went back in that field with the first 2 or 3 hours, found nothing. Again, by mid-afternoon towards late afternoon, got a signal, 5 inches, 6 inches down, turned the clod over. The King Stephen and Matilda penny was sticking out the other end. I knew it was hammered straight away. I gently peeled it off the clod, looked at the coin. I thought, wow, I've never seen a coin like that before in my life. I knew it was something special straight away. Put it on social media, and some clever guy straight away said, it's a Stephen and Matilda penny, extremely rare. And that's how detecting goes. Turned my machine off, stuck it on my shoulder, walked back to the car, dropped the back of my pickup up, sat on the back of my pickup, had a drink of water, looked at the coin, and just, you know what, I've had my day. I don't want to carry on detecting. I waited for Gaz. He came off about an hour and a half later. I'd had my fun. I could have carried on and maybe found a couple more coins, but that was me done that day. Fantastic. And I can repeat that throughout my whole career. I've done weird things like that all the time. Great life story, Graham. It is, you know, I'm just trying to relate to you guys what goes on. It was absolutely. So we've missed where we going. Just goes to show, keep going like shit and curly. But seriously, wow, yeah. I mean, I'm never going to live that down, Jay. Kate and Shirley. Now they're worth talking about, actually. Spooky experiences. Yes, I have actually. I'll maybe talk about them actually at some other point. Yes, a few actually. But going back, where we at? Funny you should say that. I've noticed when I'm tired and miserable, I never find anything. I find positive, always find something interesting. Not as dispatched as you'll find, but you know, it's there, isn't it? It's there. Things are there. And your day will come, treasure hunters. It'll absolutely come. Great to find that, Graham. I was digging even greenways for most day, found 40 on the knocks and dug out 10 stone Roman lead ingot. Fantastic. Look at that. Interesting you should say that, Rob. And I can look at your image of your lead pig, as I call them, your 10 stone Roman lead ingot. I was detecting up in Cumbria a few years ago, and I found the back end or the corner, would I call it the corner, or a section of indeed a Roman lead ingot with a C on it. I've still got it. It's just could I go and get it? No, it might take too long. I might blank. The screen might go blank for too long. But I found a corner edge of a lead ingot, Roman lead ingot, with the impression C in it. So there you go. So that's a fantastic find, Rob. Absolutely awesome. Where we at? Great story, thank you. No, it's not a problem. I like to tell these stories. I mean, there's lots of stories out there, isn't there? You know, lots and lots of stories that we can tell. But the thing is, the key is if you go onto a field detecting and you've got a whole host of problems in here, you're not really going to find a great deal because you're concentrating on what's going on in there rather than there. If you can switch off what goes on in here, and detecting is a great way of doing it because you're concentrating on your environment and your detector and your finds and what you're going to dig up and everything else, you can usually clear your mind and the finds will come. Rob Quince, that's mental. I'm 3 marriages in. You must like wedding cake, Rob. You must like wedding cake, my friend. That's all I can say. That's a hell of a story. Three marriages. Yeah, there you go. Where we at? I've got loads of stories coming through. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. Anyway, so folks, yeah, so that's one story. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of weird and wonderful things that go on. Right, folks, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. We've got 5 minutes left. That's 5. So go back to Shate and Curly. Yes, I can talk about them too. I've been chatting a little bit, so two of me. Go back to Shate and Curly, Graham. We chatted last week briefly about how they just sold you on. Well, Kate and Shirley is, and I'm sure they won't mind me saying this, but they're two people that are also starring, if starring's the right word, on the ITV show with us this year. They're a married couple, and they are probably, sticking my neck on the block here a little bit, two of the best people I've ever met in my life. And I've met lots of people, good, bad, and indifferent. So there were the two amazing individuals, in so much as the female, the young, the full of energy, and they can detect till you could put them on a field and say, right, we're going to have to detect this field for 24 hours non-stop. They would detect it 24 hours non-stop. They are the most dedicated pair of individuals I've ever met. And also they love detecting, and they do find things, and they can find stuff. Believe me that, they can give the men a bloody nose when it comes to finding stuff. So be under no illusion that these two are, if there was ever a word or a statement in detecting, as in professional detectorists, which doesn't get bandied around too much anymore, thank God. But if there was ever a tag, professional detectorist, these two would pretty much be damn close to that. And not only are they good detectorists, but they're down-to-earth, wonderful people as well. They never moan and groan. They never get their heads down. I've seen them stood in fields with rain, literally, horizontal, really horrendous weather, and they just carry on. So you're right, Jay. What a pair of individuals. There should be a book or a film dedicated to these two, pretty much on their own, because they're just the best pair of individuals you'll ever want to meet. If the shit ever hit the fan for whatever reason, you could guarantee they'd have you back. Them two would have you back, not a problem. And they're just the best type of people that you ever want to meet. So there you go, to the two legends, and they're only young. What a future they've got. And not only that, and they'll probably hate me for saying this, and I don't mind, because it's been brought up by other people, not me, but they are fitness fanatics in so much as it wasn't that long ago, probably only a matter of months ago, that they actually biked from York, the city of York, into Lincoln, which is a considerable distance, and then back in a day. So they did York, Lincoln, and York again in a day. Shirley's actually a professional jockey, horse jockey, and she's been on television as well for her jockey skills and riding horses in professional races. So, be under no illusion that these two are pretty much the top of the tree when it comes to detecting and everything else. Mine was missing a corner. There you go. Next, if you remind me, Rob, the next video, I'll put it up. I'll show you it. I'll have it here. It's a big heavy thing, of course. It's just a corner section. It's been split off, and it's a C. It's a letter C. Do I think? Even Danny says Kate and Shirley are great. I mean, when I first met them, they never really said boot to a goose. They were quite quiet. And they've come out of the shells as well, and they get on. That's what I love about them. They get on really well with people, and they're just the best pair of individuals. You'll love them. If you ever use Guys Meet them, you'll love them. Where we at? Simon Ostell says, I was having a bad day detecting about 6 months ago, finding nothing but buttons field after field, then got a 21 signal on the knocks, and out popped a Bronze Age axe. And that's just detecting, isn't it? You carried on, Simon. That's the thing. You carried on and you got the goods. So there you go. Suffolk Hunters going. We've had Kate and Shirley on there already on that thread. Graham and Mel, wish you a lovely week. Enjoy these sessions. Night all. You take care. The SE absolutely are. They're just the best. They're made of different material. There you go. That's all I can. I mean, when I was young, I was pretty much into everything. I was hardcore, just about everything. I did everything 100 mile an hour. If I wasn't fishing outdoors till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning in the midwinter, I was detecting on fields all over the place and doing all sorts of weird, wonderful things. But when I think back what I used to get up to, and I think back what these two do, it's just pretty much mirror imaged of what we all used to do. But they do it in such a way, in such a manner that they just keep going like a pair of Terminators. Kate eats for a 10, yeah, and they eat. They absolutely do. They eat just as much as me, probably, and I eat a lot. I've never seen two individuals eat as much, and then there's nothing of them. They're both built like a pair of chips. There's nothing of them like that. Two stick insects. You see them detecting alongside each other, like two fingers walking down the field. There's nothing of them, but they can eat like 10 portions. But yeah, the SAS are detectorists, absolutely are. Yeah, and they're not going to hate me for saying it. Do I think Deus will be? I don't know. I'd probably try it, but you remember, I don't know if bolting a multi-frequency coil on a single frequency detector would be classed as the true. It probably would, actually, wouldn't it? Would it be classed as a true multi-frequency machine? I don't know, but I'm not sure, Pascal. I don't know. Maybe. Rob Jones says, thanks for looking forward to it. I will absolutely be putting that on for you. A pair of chips, absolutely are. But the wonderful people, Jay, you make sure people that speak to him and they haven't spoken to him already, make sure you make, and they're going to be famous, them two, by the way. I can just sense it. They're going to make it. They just are. I think they should do YouTube. I think if Kate and Shirley did a YouTube channel, it would pretty much smash the lot. It'd smash it. Good night, Graham. All the best. And that's from Gary Hayes. Good to see you, Gary. You take care. We're pretty much knocking it off anyway now. With that 28 people, things have tailed off a bit, but we'll end it now, folks. I've just gone over a little bit, and look out for the film. And just remember, articles for the magazine, folks. uneartheduk@gmail.com. Would be lovely to see you, and we'll bury them in pride of place in the magazine. Take care, everybody, and good luck if you're detecting this weekend, and bye for now.